Welcome to Parenting Prep Podcast. We started this new series to help parents understand how to navigate the world of parenting. I always say that parents get a child which comes without a manual, so you don't know how to bring up that child. And with this podcast, we are trying to become that friend, that mentor that every parent needs to navigate the world, the ups and downs of parenting. So, welcome to Parenting Prep Podcast. And our guest for today is a wonderful person, a superb professional. Her name is Priya Kanakya, and she runs a wonderful community of parents, almost 56,000 and more. Can you imagine that? She runs a company called Tot Circle, and her aim, her goal, her vision, her mission in life is to ensure that parents understand that journey of parenting, especially through the angle of emotional development. So, for her, parenting is not just about looking after the children, parenting is all about looking after themselves too. So, let's talk to her. She's with us here today. Hello and welcome, Priya. How are you?
Good, very well. Thank you so much for having me here. It's honestly my honor to speak to you.
It's my honor to have you here because it's always good to talk to another professional and share with them, learn from them, especially about parenting. Because, as I said, children just come into this world
Without a manual.
and no instructions, nothing to guide. And I always say parents do their best with the first child and they think they've mastered it. And then the second child comes along who's completely different and they have to go on the process all over again.
Yeah.
So tell me about a little bit about your work. How do you help parents?
So how do I work with parents is that I work with them on themselves first. So if a parent comes to me saying that this is my child and please do something with my child, make it right, make him or her right, I don't take that approach. I work with parents to get their journey, get their life healed, get them in shape, in place with their emotions, to understand how their mindset is formed from their childhood and how are they operating from a lot of things that are coming from their past.
Absolutely. I think it's like what they tell us on an airplane, right? Put that
Mask
oxygen mask on
first.
yourself first,
Yes.
and then put it on
Yes.
The people around you or the children.
Absolutely.
So tell me, one of the common questions that parents have is that how do I look after parenting and my personal needs? How do they learn to balance that?
Right. I say a very simple thing. If there is a glass, if it's empty, okay, can you pour from an empty glass? Very simple. So, every parent that I work with, I tell them that first fill your cup. If you are exhausted, if you are tired, if you are triggered, agitated, you cannot raise a healthy, happy, emotionally resilient child.
Absolutely.
So you have to first fill your cup, which could be as simple as taking care of your physical needs, like maybe just working out
Or taking a break.
or taking a break, or taking care of your emotions by whatever it could be, like journaling, meditation, doing something you love, following your passion,
Absolutely.
any of it.
But sometimes the parent says, I'm guilty. If I go alone and I don't take my child for that little break, I feel guilty. What should they do about that guilt? Just throw it away.
Put it in the bin, because isn't it coming from the societal angle?
Exactly.
That a mother has to be attached with the child all the time.
Yeah.
If she's thinking about herself, then she's selfish. Just put it in the bin and take care of yourself so that you can take care of your child.
That's so beautifully put. That it's very important that you have something to go from.
Absolutely.
And I think from there stem all the anxiety and frustrations that usually parents go through.
Yeah.
Because they are not filling their own cup.
Yeah.
They're
And they are in a
constantly
cycle.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They get stuck in a cycle because they're not stepping out
Yeah.
of that cycle and actually taking a breather. Yeah.
When you talked about taking care of yourself, I think one of the most important things by taking care of ourselves are our emotions. And do you feel that children are facing some form of emotional neglect?
To this, I will definitely say, I'll come to that actually. So, if you see that a lot of parents of our generation that you see raising kids today, they
So kind of you to put me with your generation. I'm not that young.
I'm just putting it out there.
I'm just putting
So,
it away.
yeah, I'm just putting it out there. So the point being that um, they've been raised in an era where it was a lot about sustenance, physical sustenance, and emotions was always a topic which was like under the carpet.
True.
Don't talk about it, you know. And it was always about getting bread and butter home at that time. So they were never spoken to about their emotions, and it was always about shh. If you are getting angry, you are a bad kid.
Ah.
Stop crying. You know, अच्छे बच्चे रोते नहीं हैं.
Ah.
How many of us have actually heard
Or
that?
boys रोते नहीं.
Boys तो जरा भी नहीं रोते हैं, right? And they come from that era where their emotions were always like shh. And so they, a lot of parents that I work with, their focus is on getting things done, making a good tiffin, sending to a good school.
Yeah, so
You
if
know.
I've fed you, I've
Yeah.
taken care of you, you're healthy.
Yeah, like if I'm telling a parent that you need to build a connection with your child, they're like, I already have a connection. I'm like, no, that's not a connection. You know, you're just doing physical things for your child, but they actually need your emotional support.
Absolutely.
And that's where a lot of parents don't know how to do it because they haven't got it.
And that's where you come in, right?
Yes.
As a parenting coach or a parenting mentor.
Yes,
So you help them understand their emotions.
their own emotions, parents, their own emotions.
Okay.
So I work on their emotions, I work with them on their mindset, because your belief system is everything. That's where you're operating from.
When you spoke about connection, then I have a connection. The usual connection that parents have with their children is the mobile phone. Where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then they scream and they say, give me space. You're not giving me space.
Yeah.
And that's all part of it, right? Whether it's a 2-year-old toddler who throws that temper tantrum because you're not giving this child what he wants,
Yeah.
even though it's right. Sometimes I had a parent who said, black color pen ke usko roz jana hai. 2-year-old, he only chooses black clothes, and that's why we have this huge showdown every morning. He wants to wear only black clothes. I said, what of your scores if he's wearing black? But तो दूसरी color भी पहनने चाहिए ना. I said, it's about his likes and dislikes. His self-assertion is setting in, and you are trying to be more powerful, and that's where the pull happens.
Absolutely.
So I think that's also an important part of emotional development, right? The give and take.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where the child's intuition is also coming into the picture, right? If the child is wanting to wear black, that's where his likes, dislikes, his intuition, his inner voice, that's the child's decision to make.
Absolutely.
Right? If we're constantly telling the child that ये ही करना है, ऐसा ही करना है, ये ही पहनो, ये ही खाओ, ऐसे ही करो, where is their inner voice or intuitive voice going to be developed?
Absolutely. And in our new national curriculum framework, they have 3 words: choice, joy, and wonder. And that means giving children choice is so important that it had to be put in our national curriculum framework also.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we all need to realize, that children need choices.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So many parents say that my child throws a tantrum or throws things. How do we teach children to express their feelings?
How do we teach children to express their feelings? Amazing. So here is where, I tell parents that when we have to learn a new language, don't we start from A, B, C, right? So this is where I take them, that if you have to or you want your children to express their emotions, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, you can start teaching them a vocabulary around emotions.
Exactly.
Because if a child does not have a vocabulary, they will not be able to identify, label, express their emotions. So, to begin with, a child should have at least 15, 20, 25 words of emotions so that they can identify what is really happening to them.
Yeah, so helping them label their emotions.
Label their
That I'm
emotions.
feeling frustrated.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like doing this.
Absolutely.
Or I am bored. And that is why I am keeping on hitting that person.
Yeah, or I feel angry,
Yeah.
They should be able to say that without getting resistance,
Ah.
that don't get angry.
Yeah, I think we tend to say a lot that don't cry, don't get angry. But we don't tell them, okay, if I can't get angry, what should I do then? Because I'm feeling angry.
Yeah.
I think it's important to show them the avenue of if I'm angry and I can't hit somebody.
Yeah.
Then what? Show me socially acceptable ways to show my emotions.
Absolutely.
But do you think we adults are able to show our emotions properly?
That's the thing. That is the crux of my work.
Absolutely.
That I want to help parents understand their emotions, where they are coming from, so that they can do it for their kids.
And I think this also ties in beautifully to emotional struggles. Both parents and children also go through emotional struggles.
Sure, absolutely.
Sometimes, especially during the pandemic, it happened, that parents were going through so much of emotional problems that they weren't sharing it with their children. And their children were not understanding how to support their parents in those struggles, So, should parents share about their emotional struggles with their children?
I would say yes and no. Not the deeper ones, like it shouldn't be in form of a complaint.
Right.
That my mother-in-law did this, your father did this.
Exactly.
It cannot be that way. Yes, if you want to share your struggles, which should be a part of your conversation with your child. Say, for example, I went to office and I had to give this presentation today, and just at the last moment, something went wrong and it didn't go through. I was feeling anxious that what will I do? And my boss was sitting and they were looking at me, etc. But you know what? At the end moment, I just took a deep breath and I made it happen.
Right.
This is the kind of stuff you can talk to your kids about.
And you should talk about.
That's where they get to learn that, okay, you know what, my parent is not perfect.
Yes.
They also feel anxious.
Absolutely.
They also feel angry, but not in a form of a complaint. That I'm really angry that your father did this.
Yeah. Then you're spoiling relationships.
Yeah, that's
more than
not.
building relationships, right?
Absolutely.
Because I also always say that the more you share with them, then you also went through an angry moment. And what did you do in that angry moment?
That's where they learn.
In that way, you become the emotional role model for your child.
Absolutely.
And that's so much required in today's world.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is to actually show them that how you deal with your anger when they are throwing a tantrum. So when a child is throwing a tantrum, it is a difficult moment for the parent.
It is.
Right? And that's when the child learns that in a difficult moment, how did my parent react?
Absolutely.
So it's such a thin line.
I think it's a balance.
It's a balance.
It needs to be maintained like a balance.
Yeah.
Like I had this parent who said that my child chooses only public moments to embarrass me. And she always throws a tantrum in a public moment. So what should I do? So I said, just be there with her while she's throwing the tantrum.
Yeah.
Just be calm.
Yeah.
The tantrum will get over. There is a limit to a tantrum.
Yeah, it's a
and she
wave.
said, no, but then the people who pass by, they pass comments. I said, who's more important to you?
Yeah.
The child or the people? And if the people are looking at you too much, tell them, welcome to the earth. There are children also.
Exactly.
Absolutely. What do you feel about? Do you think children purposely throw tantrums to embarrass parents?
Last week I took a workshop on tantrums only because I love this topic. There is a lot of misconception around tantrums. It's always seen as disobedience, disrespect, child's manipulative behavior. To all of this, I often tell parents that the child doesn't know this is called a tantrum. Their emotional brain has taken over,
True.
and the logical part is not yet developed. So if a child is throwing a tantrum in public, then they need you at that time, like you said, that they need you the most at that time.
Absolutely.
So it's the mindset shift that needs to happen for a parent to actually see it, that my child needs me at this time. I think there is a quote which says that a parent needs to understand that my child is not giving me a hard time. My child is having a hard time,
Okay.
facing a hard time.
That's so important.
Yeah, that mindset shift is so important.
Absolutely.
Like for 2 days, I worked with parents only on shifting their mindset around tantrums. Just looking at it differently.
From the perspective of the child.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
अभी तक चश्मा पहना है of old parenting.
Yeah.
कि ओके ये डिसोबीडियंस है, मेरे सामने जोर से कैसे बोल दिया, राइट? बट इट्स नॉट अबाउट यू. डोंट मेक इट अबाउट यू. It's the child who's having a difficult time.
Absolutely. So what suggestions would you give to parents to foster a positive emotional environment in the house?
So firstly, accept all emotions. If your child is feeling angry, sad, frustrated, let them. Our surrounding, our environment is so sometimes anti-emotions that whenever something is happening, we just want to like finish it fast. If a child is crying, जल्दी जल्दी बस रोना नहीं चाहिए, जल्दी जल्दी बंद कर दो. हाँ, yeah. So it's okay. Let the child cry. Let them go through that wave of emotion. Be there with them while they go through that wave of emotion. That's the first thing, like, accepting your child's emotions.
Right.
Whereas drawing a boundary with their behavior. Often we don't see the difference between emotion and behavior. तो हम एंगर को ना बोल देते हैं.
Right.
बट क्या चाहिए हमें कि वो गुस्सा करके मारे नहीं किसी को.
Right.
तो मारना इज बिहेवियर, एंगर इज इमोशन.
Absolutely.
तो दोनों को अलग देखना है हमें.
True.
So say yes to emotion but no to behavior.
This reminds me of a story of Buddha. It said, hiss, don't bite. And when parents say, when should I be angry with my child and when should I not? When मैं angry नहीं होती हूँ तो सुनता नहीं है. So that story is an amazing, I think, a parenting tool, because it's about a snake who goes to Buddha and says, the people don't like me. So Buddha said that that's because you bite everybody. And so he said, but that's me. I'm a snake. I'm supposed to bite. Otherwise, they are going to hit me. They are going to kill me. So Buddha said, you also have the power of hissing. And when you will hiss, they will stay away.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have to bite everybody
Every time. Yeah.
So learn when to hiss and when to bite. And Magda Gerber actually has something very similar. She is a parenting coach, and she teaches parents that learn the 3 colors: red, orange and green. You should know when to interfere with what your child is doing or saying or feeling, and which is the red sign when you actually need to interfere, that the child is going to harm himself or others. The orange is when you need to scaffold the child, and green is leave your child alone. Your child
They'll manage.
So do you think this is taught well to parents?
Not at all, ma'am. खुद के इमोशंस नहीं हैंडल अभी हो रहे हैं,
And do you think it's more after the pandemic?
What is more after the pandemic?
The problem with handling emotions.
I would say it's come out after pandemic.
Okay.
Before the pandemic, it was जैसे चल रहा था. But after the pandemic, I think it's become a topic that parents also have started acknowledging. That yes, I think there is something that needs work here.
Because I always term it as anything that I work on, I term it as pre-pandemic
Pre and post pandemic, yes.
because the world has forgotten the pandemic,
Yeah.
but actually there are a lot of scars which are still left,
Yeah.
which most people are not looking into, and especially schools.
Hmm.
What do you feel schools should do about emotional development? We as a school at Podar Prep, we are very strong in our infusion of socio-emotional development in our songs, in our stories, in our games, in our teacher training. But I feel most parents still feel that the academic is more important or socio-emotional to ho jayega.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's the other way around?
Definitely. You know, when we go out and deal in the world now, आपका A, B, C कम काम आता है.
Exactly.
But how am I able to build relationships? How am I able to
Work
be
with others.
confident
Yeah.
about myself? This drives everything,
Absolutely.
you know, and this is the base, this is the core. And a lot of times people forget that childhood is the foundation. It's like a building being built. सबसे पहले बनता है foundation.
हाँ,
और उसके फाउंडेशन में सोशल इमोशनल डालना जरूरी है.
नहीं तो सीमेंट ही नहीं होगा.
नहीं तो बिल्डिंग खड़ा कैसे रहेगा.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is why a lot of schools, even our new curriculum, which has come as part of the new education policy, stresses on it as life skills. And I like that term, that these are your life skills. They're going to help you cope with life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You know? And that is very important, that social and emotional. If you're not strong in that, you're not prepared for life.
You're not actually.
What is the one thing that you would like to tell parents to do after listening to this podcast?
Validate emotions. First, validate your own emotions and your kids' emotions. A lot of parents will start validating their child's emotions, but they'll not look at their own. That's also a mistake. Validate your own emotions also and your kids' emotions.
Absolutely. Now, when we talk about parenting, we always talk only about the mother. But the father is also a very important integral part. When it comes to emotional abilities, do you feel it's very important for the mother and the father to match their own emotional intelligence before they learn to take care of a child?
There definitely needs to be a wavelength of how we are going to be parenting, who's going to play what kind of a role in parenting, or even the emotional wavelength. There needs to be a conversation. In our society, there is no conversation.
Right. There's no conversation about marriage. Forget about having a child. What are your expectations after marriage? There are usually no conversation.
There is no conversation.
We focus, I think, more on the wedding and less on the marriage.
Yeah.
Very
Similarly, here also, like, even before having a child, it's like करना ही है. It's become कि नहीं, ये तो करना ही है ना, बच्चा तो करना ही होता है. There is no option.
Yeah.
But sometimes if a person is not ready,
don't do it. Exactly.
You have a choice.
Exactly. The choice is out there.
Yeah.
But again, as you said right at the beginning, it's what the society, you get, your emotions are somewhere puppeteered by the expectations of society.
It is.
So I think that's what stops a lot of parents from doing the right thing for their child.
Yeah. 100%. I'll give you an example. I got a call from one of my clients saying that I have a party at my office tomorrow and I don't know what to do about my child. I'm like, why? What happened? She's like, what if he throws a tantrum in front of my boss?
Oh.
It's an appraisal party, na.
Oh. my
How will I look in front of my? I'm like, your boss also has a kid. Everybody has a child. And if they don't understand, they don't understand. And that's
Exactly.
okay.
You know, there's a picture, very good picture. We must tell these parents to Google search it. I have kept it in my office. It's Obama,
Hmm.
okay, the president of the USA.
Hmm.
He's standing, and there is a 4-year-old throwing a tantrum in front of him.
I think I've seen that. I've seen that. I have seen that.
So even whether you are the president and it's his nephew,
Yeah. I've seen that picture. I think I do
Yeah.
remember.
I think that says it all. That children have emotions and they will show their emotions whether you are the president or
Yeah, whoever you are,
whoever
doesn't
you are,
matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So this was so wonderful talking to you, and
Same here.
I think a lot more parents will understand that when we are trying to build a child's success, it's not only his grades or her percentage or how they get good reports, report cards,
Yeah.
etc. Ultimately, in life, when they start working and start living in society,
Yeah.
it is this foundation of social emotional development. What do you think?
100%, ma'am.
Yeah.
I feel social emotional is so important. I mean, I'm telling you with experience because I've landed in this field.
Okay. How did that happen?
Okay. So I've worked with teenagers for 6 years before I started Tot Circle,
Okay.
and I saw that they were struggling with emotions.
Oh yeah.
And that helped me go back to my childhood, my teen life, understand I struggled with my emotions for 25 years. And that's how I landed in this field. Because while I was prepping to have my own child, I was petrified. Trust me. I started studying, learning, healing. I did Vipassana and I did, everything under the sun that I could, keep my child away from what I've been through. So, I landed in this field because I feel that God maybe took away the child, but I was given that choice that now you have all these options, that you have studied so much, you've researched so much. It's your time to actually pass this knowledge to people. Because if I keep it to myself, it would be selfish then.
Absolutely. The more you give knowledge, the more you get it.
Yes. So that's how I've landed in this field,
Oh, nice.
and I've been through that phase of being in an emotionally
Wreck kind of.
yeah. And how does that feel, And I realized that वो बचपन में सिखाना चाहिए था.
Right.
Because जो भी patterns, जो भी habits, जो भी reactions जो बन गए वो बन गए थे.
True.
It took me like 5 years to actually redo and unlearn and and come back to understanding myself, understanding my emotions. And I was like, ये बचपन में किया तो 25 साल नहीं जाएंगे ना?
True. Very true. There's a question which a parent actually asked me, and I'm seeing it around me a lot. I'm sure all of us have gone through it. Do you think that we these days are not coping with loss as much as our ancestors were able to cope? Whether it's a loss of a relative, a loss of a job, or loss of marks. Because if you see the teenage suicides, I've seen so many people struggling. Today only a lady spoke to me and she lost her brother recently, and she's not able to cope with it at all. So do you think loss of any kind, have we lost our resilience? Because that's part of emotional development.
I think earlier it was more about suppression. This is what I've understood. They were resilient from the outside.
Okay.
We don't know how resilient were they from the inside. What were they going through inside? There could be like a roller coaster happening which we don't even know. So they were resilient for sure, which is how they've made things happen. But yes, in today's time, I feel that it's coming out. People are not able to, but like people aren't dealing with their emotions as yet. So, but it's visible. So So now it's time that we actually start learning
True.
how to deal with these things. That time has come,
Absolutely.
where we learn how to cope with loss, with emotions. That
Yeah, because
time.
it starts with a tantrum, right? You didn't give me what I want, so I threw a tantrum. And if you are not able to explain that emotional moment to me, I will grow up to be a person who will never be able to accept that I didn't get my way.
Hmm.
And that's where I think what you are working with parents comes in. That let's have that emotional resilience, that understanding that children grow up with,
Hmm.
that what is labeled as
Yeah.
right and
Yeah.
what is labeled as acceptable by society. And I think that works out. What do you feel? That's what's going to give the grounding to children. That when both parents and teachers focus on the emotional development of children.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
There has to be a collaboration where if a child is going through something, uh, there is a safe space created
Right.
at home and in the school.
Absolutely. Because we have a behavior policy in our schools, and sometimes we find parents hit their children at home, and we don't. So it sometimes causes a confusion in the child.
Yeah.
That I have to listen only when I am hit.
Right.
What are your thoughts on hitting children?
I'm glad you asked. It only causes a child to feel more fearful. So when a child is hit, they listen to you in the moment. They will do things that you ask. After some time, you will see that they've come back to normal. They're listening to you, they're pleasing you more. You'll see all of that. But after 2-3 days, you will see some other tantrum in some other format, or you will see some other space where there's some fear coming out, which is 2x, and you don't know where it came from.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, what just happened?
True.
So it's a chain.
No.
Of course, it's a no, because when you hit a child, you are just triggering the survival in them. And coming from a survival space, the child is never going to learn कि मेरे पेरेंट को मुझे सिखाना क्या था.
Exactly.
वो सिर्फ फियर से बच रहा है अभी. बट उसको अगर आपको सिखाना था कि ये ग्लास को ऐसे रखना है, तो आप उसको सवाल पूछो कि हाउ डू या करके दिखाओ. बट उसको मार के दिखाओगे तो ये तो वो सीखेगा ही नहीं. वो सिर्फ इतना सीखेगा कि मैं नेक्स्ट टाइम कुछ गलती करूंगा तो मुझे मार पड़ेगी.
I'll be more worried about the mar than
what I actually have to learn.
So Priya, I'm sure the parents will get a lot of input from this podcast. Thank you so much for being with us here today. Hearing your perspective, it was really a learning moment for me. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners are going to have a lot of questions, queries. So I would ask all our listeners to please DM us your questions, your queries, and we are definitely going to be with you in our parenting journey. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I love having this conversation with anyone, who's like-minded, who's passionate. I can see your passion come out about this topic, and it just makes me feel so grateful and honored to have this conversation.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.